And welcome to another edition of Woodsy's Footy Tour. And by all God, mate, I am so happy for this one. We got the great Toby Rudolf, mate. How are ya?
I'm so good, Woodsy. Thank you for having me. This is unreal to see how far you've come since leaving the Sharks. So good for you, mate.
Bigger and better things, eh?
Bigger and better things, clearly.
We always spoke about, I love to talk a lot of crap, and I always
Yes.
wanted to have a show.
Yes.
And to get you on the show, mate, I'm so bloody happy.
Mate, I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. So I'm smiling ear to ear.
So we'll go through a few things, but the first thing, you've got the floor's yours, mate. The right to reply to your former skipper Wade Graham, mate. I'm sure you saw what he said last week.
I did.
What's your thoughts on that?
Look, my thoughts I can't go to somewhere new and tame it down and not be myself. And you know what? It's got me into trouble everywhere I've gone. If I ever leave the Sharks, I hope I don't. If I ever leave, it'll happen again. But I'm used to it now. It's sort of just my process. I go to somewhere new and everyone's off me because I'm just like too leery, too loud, to myself, and I just wear it. It's like whatever, it's all good. I understand. Like if I came into a club and I was like, if there was two me's and I saw myself come in, I'd probably hate me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I understand where he's
I
coming
didn't
from.
hate you.
You didn't. You're on my team
I
straight
like
away.
different blokes.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
You do. But you're a different bloke yourself in a way. So we sort of got on straight away.
But see, I wasn't stuck in rehab with you.
That would be the difference.
Did you notice something was different when you knew Wado was doing different schedule to you?
I just sort of one day realised, Wade isn't here anymore.
Yep.
Okay, he must be a different stage of rehab to me. He must be a bit further along, whatever. I don't see him anymore. And then one day I brought it up. I was like, mate, why don't I see you anymore? Like, what happened there? Well, we're getting on so great. And he just goes, mate, I was fucking sick of your shit. I was just like, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Mate.
Yeah.
And, so one thing about you, mate, you got a massive personality. Where does it come from? Who instilled the confidence to you?
Yeah, you know what? I think it was my mum probably because I was quite babied as a child, if I'm being honest. Like, I obviously got a brother, so it was me and him in the house. But he got the boot when I was 12 or 13. He got booted out of home, and like mum was just always just Team Toby.
Yep.
Just whatever I did, couldn't make a wrong decision. Definitely had some discipline in there somewhere. Like she was still a hard lady, but in terms of me being myself, she was always just so supportive of me and what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be,
Yep.
and even like my family, like my oma, my grandma, my aunties and uncles all around me. They were always just no one ever told me to tone it down. If I had an old man around, he probably would have slapped me around the back of the head and gone, mate, pull your head in.
I'm glad they didn't tell you to tone it down.
Yeah,
Mate, we've had some good times over the years.
We
But
have.
you spoke to your brother, Josh, your big Joshy.
Big Joshy, you know him quite well.
How's he going? and how was it when he did get moved out of your house? Because obviously you don't have a father figure. He was probably your father figure at the time.
Well, it was, you know what, it's funny, right? When he got booted out, I was actually stoked. We didn't get on.
Really?
Mate, we didn't get on when I was growing up, nah.
Well, what's the age difference?
So 5.5 years. So there's a little bit of age there, a little bit of difference. So when he got booted out, I was stoked because I didn't get on with him at all.
Yeah.
If you can imagine me now, imagine me as a 12-year-old kid, bigger personality, more hyperactive, going through puberty, mate, just attention. Like,
Did you have the long hair back then too?
No. I was like this now.
Yep.
But it was, I can imagine where he came from. Like, he didn't get on with me very much because I would always just cry to mum if he ever did anything wrong and wouldn't give me the remote, like little baby shit, things like that,
Yeah.
So when he left, I was stoked. We didn't talk for a couple of years there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that bad, man. So bit of my fault, bit of his fault, honestly, like two ways. And as we've gotten older, we've sort of come to realise, what the issues were and why we were the way we were.
Yeah.
And obviously best mates now. So look, I wouldn't change a thing because we are so close now. It would have been nice if we were close when we were younger, but it just wasn't the way it was.
Well, mate, one of the funniest nights.
Here we go.
No, honestly. I know how much you love your brother. It's funny hearing you say that you sort of didn't talk for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But your eyes, when the Wenger boys come on and used to, like, I remember Joshy, I was sitting talking to Joshy at the Hoey Moey.
Yeah.
And you were probably 15 metres away. and when the Wenger boys come on, it was like something it was like, the night at the Roxbury?
I've seen that.
Like when they go like that. Yeah. So it was like used to, and you just locked, and you just, everyone moved out of the way. And it was just Josh and Toby in the middle of the dance floor.
I'd forgotten about that, actually, to
Mate,
be honest. Yeah.
One of the great nights. And you're a Maroubra boy?
Maroubra boy, born and bred,
Yep.
born and
So,
bred.
how much did that area instill, like, obviously growing up, it's a tough upbringing. I think it was Housing Commission.
Yeah, correct.
To see how far you've made it, mate, do you ever think back and, like, you pinch yourself?
You know what? I wouldn't say, like, I look back, pinch myself. I'll probably look back, but I'm so happy each day that goes by. Like, Similar background to you, Woodsy. Like, I get up, I go to training. Some people call it work. It's not work.
Nah.
It's hanging out with your friends, getting paid to do it, getting paid to stay fit and active, paid to train. Like it's. Do I look back at where I came from? Like I definitely have pride of where I come from. Like I love Maroubra. I love the area. I love the people there, and it's home. Like it's always going to be home forever. It's never going to change. And I just love. Man, I just love each day, to be honest. I just love what I'm doing. It's the best thing ever.
You can always tell with you, mate, because there's a huge smile on your face with that big horse head that we...
Horse head, horse teeth.
Around.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Correct.
How did a bloke from Housing Commission get to Scots College?
Yeah, right. That's a story. So I was actually applying to get into Newington.
Oh, really?
I was applying to get to Newington because I had a lot of mates that I thought were worse than me at footy, getting these scholarships and going, well, fuck, hang on a second. I should probably be able to snag one of these. So I started applying to Newington knowing they gave out scholarships like candy.
Yep.
Got denied. And then I was at an under-15s national rugby camp, like top 9 in Australia.
Yep.
Got flown in from all over
So you're
the
playing
place.
rugby union?
Playing union, yeah. So I was a union junior. I played both until I was about 13, then went to union.
Yep.
On the way home from the camp, I get a call from Scots. They might not want me telling this story, actually. I'm pretty sure they're still like, oh, we don't give scholarships yet, but... Look at all the players that have come out. Suoliti, Penasini, like, come on, grow up. Anyway, so on the way home from this camp, I get a call from the sports master or someone. Asked me if I want to come take a look at the school, have a tour. Went down, had a look. Pretty much told me I was good to go straight away. Couldn't believe it, honestly. I thought like, maybe Newington, but Scots is almost like that next level
that's like the Roosters.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like the top. 0.1% of wealth in Sydney, their kids go there, So that's how it happened, and it was, mate, massive culture shock. Like I went from, this is the way I always describe it, it's not the most appropriate way, but I went from going to botany, parties, 1-story house, fishing for drinks in the street, to then going to a 6-story mansion in Point Piper with a DJ, dancers, caterers, like you name it. So that was just the difference in sort of, in parties.
And how did the Scots take on the Dolph? Because he's a different, unique character.
Exactly the same as everywhere else I've been, mate. No one liked me for the first few weeks.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, probably the first couple of terms. I had a couple of mates that were at Marcelin. So I was at Marist before, and I would just hang out with these 2 lads from Marcelin for the first 2 terms.
Yep.
Once I started playing rugby, because you obviously go there in summer when it's like rowing and all those sort of sports. Once winter rolled around and I was playing footy, everyone sort of started to come around and started to like me a bit.
I always say you got to give people time.
You do.
And
in
your case, maybe a little bit
extra
more time. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
So one of the things, you were captain of your top 15?
Yeah, rugby.
And
first
people
15.
don't know you played with Angus Crichton.
I did.
Did you make the Australian Schoolboys?
No, he did. He was a gunman back then. He was like scoring, I think we beat Newington 101-0, and he scored like 49 points.
So he's always had it.
Mate, yeah, he was a gun. Like he was playing first 15 a year up, and he was always a freak athlete. Like look at the size of his quadzilla. So he made Australian Schoolboys. I didn't. I made New South Wales.
Yep.
And then had a pretty poor tournament. Didn't make Australian, but it is what it is.
And moved on from there. So then, was it right? You were in the Waratahs junior system?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
So straight after school, I was going on to 19.
Yep.
Was in the Waratah under-20s. So every year the under-20s have like a World Cup.
Yep.
So, obviously I was trying to make the Australian junior kangaroos, or junior wallabies, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
They have a tournament somewhere, and from that you have a big World Cup, and generally that's where you sort of get signed from wherever it could be. So I played in that. I was a loose head prop at that time.
Oh, so you played prop?
I played prop.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was not many sort of props getting around at Scots, but there were a lot of second rowers and number 8s. That was my position. So I was like, well, I'll have a go at prop just to fit in, because we had some really decent second rowers. So ended up finishing at prop. Was at the Waratah 20s as prop. Ended up playing a game against a country team in a trial.
Yeah.
Nearly destroyed my ankle.
Oh, really?
Really badly. So just not bad enough to get surgery, but thereabouts, right?
So that's worse sometimes.
Yeah. So it's just time to heal. So I was still there, and they said to me, I was there for like 2 weeks afterwards, and they were like, look, mate, we haven't got any money in the budget for your physio.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to source it elsewhere.
Wow.
So I was like, that's sick. I did this playing for you guys. Thanks heaps for that one. Appreciate it.
And that's what people don't understand. Like when you're a kid, you're trying to do your best, but now, so what did you do? How did you How'd you get the recovery for the ankle?
Mate, I was working at the Coogee Pavilion, funnily enough. Ran into the coach of the under-20s South team.
Yep.
Who was teaching me at school sort of on and off. He's a casual teacher at Marist.
Oh, Marsh, yep.
And he just said, mate, come across. We'll take care of your ankle for you. That was all I needed to hear. He said there's a lot of injuries, blah, blah, blah. But I just heard ankle and I was like, mate, get me there. I went across just to get the physio done, started running again, started getting playing a few games. Also went back to my junior club, South Eastern Seagulls.
Yep.
Played a few games. I was actually making more money playing for South Eastern Seagulls than I was getting playing for South Rabbitohs because Rabbitohs was 100 a loss, 200 a win.
And that was that 20s?
I was 20s.
Yep.
My first year of 20s, 19. When I was 19, sorry. So it was 100 a loss, 200 a win.
Yep.
I lost every game I played of South.
Poor bloke.
But it was 150 man of the match for South Eastern Seagulls. And every time I played South Eastern Seagulls, I got man of the match.
So you basically wanted to go play for South Eastern?
Yeah, I was keen as.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
a bit of cash.
So did you have to train with South's 20s and then just play for South Eastern Seagulls?
I think there was one session a week. Thursdays we'd play for the boys that weren't getting picked in 20s.
Yep.
We'd go back and train with the Seagulls. And I had a lot of mates that were there as well.
So you enjoy that lifestyle?
It was the best.
And did that get you back like loving it again?
Yeah, it did. Like
Yeah.
I hadn't played league by that stage in properly for 5-6 years.
Yep.
First game back, I was just like, didn't know anything about underhooks, didn't know anything about winning tackles. Just run hard, do your best, move in defence. Not much has changed.
Mate.
Yeah,
you're an all effort man. That's what
I
you are.
am. And
You're a million miles an hour.
Well, there's not much skill involved in my game. So,
mate, front rollers, easiest role, hardest to pull off.
You're correct.
So, how did you get into the South? So, how did Michael Maguire, did he approach you, or was it just through the 20s?
Through the 20s. So, I was pretty rubbish my first year.
Yep.
Second year, I went to Thailand with Josh, actually. Went for a training camp.
Yes.
Over there for like about 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that.
Yep.
Went over there, fittest it ever been.
Is that like those Muay Thai
Yeah, one of
camps?
those.
Yeah.
I was doing a bit of Muay Thai, but more just like crazy conditioning classes,
Yep.
running up to the big Buddha up this like 5 kilometre hill most days. Yoga, stretching, mate, anything, wrestling. They had everything over there. So
Oh, wow.
did that for 10 days, come back to South for pre-season, was winning every test,
Yeah.
killing it. First game playing against the Roosters, had an unreal game.
Mm-hmm.
I think by round 4 they said that I was going to extend my contract and put me in the top 30 for the following year.
Oh, wow. And did you know many of the blokes in the top 30 squad, or?
Well, I knew John Sutton loosely from being around Maroubra.
Maroubra, yep.
Yeah, obviously knows Josh.
Yep.
Other than that, who else was around there? Alex Johnson I played against a little bit in juniors. Ken Murray got promoted at the same time as me.
It was like the Aaron Grays. And
Aaron Gray, yeah, knew him as well.
Dylan
Played against his brother. Dylan Walker was gone by then, I think.
he was gone. Okay,
I
yep.
think he was already gone.
Yeah, he would've been.
Or in 17 when I debuted, he might have gone. Not when I debuted, when I joined South. So I knew a few of the boys, knew a
Yep.
few of them. And then 17 was a wild year, man. Like, I was the only player in the entire squad not to debut, not to play first grade that year.
That hurts.
That
yeah.
hurts. That hurts.
Yes.
Even like not even close to 18th man. I was 18th man for Bears a few times. I was going
Who was your coach back there?
Ben Gardner.
He's doing a good job now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's won a comp, hasn't he? Over at Penrith, so hats off to him. So I went to, after that, I was like, well, I almost gave it away, to be honest. I was close. Had a chat with Mum at the back, because that was like my big chance. I was like, I'm in first grade, this is crazy. Thought I was going to do mad things with it. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
I remember going to Mum like, this is it. I failed. Had a full-blown, like, just cry at the back with her, just thinking, like, I had the chance to live my dream, didn't do it.
Yep.
Got really emotional and just sort of gave her a big hug, and she told me it's going to be okay, and decided to move to Redcliffe after that.
Well, before we get into that Redcliffe, because I love the story about that one.
Yeah.
How did you feel actually coming into the dressing sheds with the likes of Sam Burgess, GI?
Yeah. That was another story, eh?
Yep.
So I was 21, and like, when you first get into grade, you're hanging out with these players you see on TV every week.
It's like a movie.
It is like, mate, proper.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. So and back then, South, the stars there were crazy. All 3 Burgess boys, Sutto, GI. It was,
Was Ben Tia there at that time?
No, he wasn't there. Farah, he was there.
Yeah.
Big name, and Cody Walker, although he was just sort of starting to come into it. He hadn't really played much then, but mate, it was nuts. Guys that I'd idolised. It was funny, actually. I actually hated South. I was a Rooster supporter growing up.
Oh, really?
So
I never knew that.
Yeah, so I actually hated every single one of those people I just named, like, because I was diehard. I'm talking diehard. Like, literally 6 months before I was at South, I went to a Roosters game and was almost got into a fight with a South fan.
Really?
I had a big Roosters air finger. I still got it at home, and I was just waving at people's faces like, nah, when we were scoring that, and this bloke almost offered me out. 6 months later, I'm in a South jersey.
I wonder if that bloke's seen you.
Nah, no way. Wouldn't have me. Unless you saw the teeth. But yeah, so it was crazy. Like those guys, mate, so much respect for them all. And
Yep.
to train with them, it was a dream come true. Like by the end, once I got over the hate, it was mad.
And then I remember when I was at Sharks, I remember seeing you from afar, and then I'd talk to Aaron Gray, and he'd always say, mate, Toby Rudolf, one of the funniest blokes I've ever met. And I was like, well, why is that? He goes, the boys used to dare him to do things. And so how would that work? What would they do?
So there was obviously I was on like there was 50K for the year. Living at home, luckily, or else I couldn't have afforded to live in Sydney. So it was mainly Sam and Sut. They were the driving forces behind it. So the different dares I had to do, there were 3.
Yep.
One was for the people. Is this on YouTube? Or is it just audio?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
it's videoed as well.
So I literally shaved this V off, got a buzz cut, and just had like the boxed up fade.
And you've got photos of it, haven't you?
I've got photos. Yeah, I'll
so
send
we
them
need to
through.
send it to us, yeah, so people can see.
People can say that was one for like $350.
So what they just got? Like, did they pay it themselves, or just everyone?
Sato just would always pay me.
What a legend!
Yeah, what a legend! What a man. He so we went to this like his proper barber, paid for it. It was a mad fade, like full like beard, everything done. But then this was just cut off as well. So
how did the coaching staff react to that?
Okay, everyone loved it except Madge. Madge was not a fan. He didn't like it. It was actually before a preseason camp. We were in Campbelltown.
Yep.
And I was getting around just with this ridiculous haircut, and like Siebes would come up and talk to me. He was assistant at the time.
Legend.
He'd come up and go, mate, I can't look at your head when I'm talking to the boys. I was laughing. I'm like, sorry.
So he's doing like a team talk for everyone.
Yeah.
There's you with your front bit.
Yeah. Just looking like an absolute Derek. So that was good times. But yeah, Madge sort of chat to me. He's like, mate, you don't see the greats. You don't see Jonathan Thurston with a haircut. You don't see Cooper Cronk. I'm like,
you know what you
mate,
said
I'm Toby Rudolf.
You know what you said? I seen Andrew Johns with red hair one day.
I should have said that. I didn't know that until later. Yeah. But that was good times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I also had to drink a litre of milk.
A litre of milk?
2 litres of milk.
2 litres of milk?
2 litres of milk. I got that far away.
What, in one scullet or?
One skull.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was that close, man. Yeah.
Did they pay up?
I think it was meant to be like 300. They gave me $100.
Oh.
I was a sip away, mate. I was about to down it, and so he goes, "Oh, you're halfway." I was like, "No way." Had that much left to fucking got me.
Was this before training or after training?
That was after training, but then I had to go to this. I went to this movie premiere, like Fast and Furious or something, with Tommy, and I had to leave and go to the toilet like 3 times. So my guts are cooked.
And then what was the third one?
That we had this gross peanut butter. It was like super healthy.
Oh, those, all the like natural.
I meant to eat like a whole jar. I think I had one mouthful of them, but Sam paid me that one like $200.
Oh, mate, geez, they would have loved you.
Yeah, well, it was good. Like it was sort of like in the break of whatever, and ping pong wasn't getting the start or whatever. Everyone would just sort of get around and just cheer me on.
So
good times.
So going from dares, what about getting in any stinks at training? Because you had a pretty competitive group there.
We did, mate. We did. So yeah, there was one actually. This was at the time early in the season.
Yep.
I was not close to playing all year, and at training, bit of carry on.
You know, one thing I want to tell the listeners and viewers at home is you train that hard. Like you're an absolute competitor. So when people listen to you tell the story, you train like you play. Yeah.
You know what? It's probably eased off a little bit now that I'm actually playing first grade somewhat.
It happens.
A fair bit. Yeah, it happens. It happens to change, but. This was even more so. Like I was just like angry, wasn't getting picked, wasn't making my mark. So I was just steaming onto it into the first grade side because I was in the second grade side. I was sort of play on play stuff.
Yeah, yep.
And I was running over Robbie Farrad for fun because I was just
and he's obviously angry because Cookie's starting.
He just had been dropped that week, which I didn't even know. I had no idea, right? So ended up sort of going at each other a bit, and then. After a few times of me doing it, he took me down, got an underhook, and he put his elbow across the bridge of my nose.
Jeez, that just brings water to your eyes,
mate,
hearing that.
Went down on the ground, he put his full weight through my face.
Yep.
And like I got up, instantly pissing blood out my mouth and my nose, and just sort of pushed him in the face, get away from me. Everyone was like, oh, I was a bit hectic,
Yeah, yeah.
And then he started carrying on in the sheds afterwards, like going, can't believe you let a back row do that. I was like, well, can't believe you let a reserve grade run over an Origin front rower. That got a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, as it always would.
As it always would, yeah. So that happened, and mate, I had calls from boys like from Madge, from Sammy, from Sut. Going, mate, if you just like clocked him in the face, I wouldn't have, like, no one would have done anything. That was hectic what you did, yeah. I was an emotional young kid. I even ended up, after he gave it to me, I ended up like running upstairs and sort of having a little emotional time, sort of crying, because I was like, we were pretty close until this had happened.
So usually like good mates.
We were good mates, mate. We had We had a couple of nights out or something. I can't fully remember. A couple of coffees and that.
Yep.
All good. And then he did that to me. I was like, fuck, where's this sort of come from, you know?
Yeah, yep.
And then afterwards to sort of carry on with it, not apologise. I was a bit off it, but you know that was
being like a senior player, didn't look after the young bloke.
Yeah, like you know, it's probably me being a bit of a young, like you said, a bit of a young bloke and not really knowing the go. But you know, I didn't like it. And
did you ever get to play against Robbie in first grade, or was he done by the time?
I think he was done by the time I got there. I was 2020.
So never got round two.
Would have caved him.
Filthy.
Did
you ever see him out and want to get stuck into him?
Mate, we had a couple. I had a night out at the Coogee Pave years later, 2019, after I got my second club, Churchill.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that later.
We will
Yeah. And I was like, he tried to say hello to me. I was like, mate, nah, get away. Like you know, he's like,
bridges burnt.
Bridges burnt. Like mate, you know what you did. He's like, whoa, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, too late, whatever. And then we sort of made up. It was like, sweet. Then I saw him in Bali 2 weeks later, and it was like I wasn't there.
He's just
full cold shoulder. Yeah, straight shoulder.
So you got to him and he's just gone, nah.
No, I saw him across the room, was like doing these ones, trying to get his attention, and just wouldn't give me the time of day.
He gave him the nod and give you nothing.
Nothing, brother. Nothing. Full, just saw
Robbie,
straight through me.
You got to be better than that.
Maybe No Limit can get us a card. Nah, you know what?
Because easy 50k.
Easy 50k would be nice, but also I can't throw him for one. If I lose, that's fucked. If I win, well then I'll beat up a hooker. It's not exactly. It's a lose-lose, isn't it?
It's redemption.
It is redemption, isn't it?
But Robbie used to train with Jeff Fennick.
Nah, mate, he can throw him.
Back in the day,
I've seen.
He goes all right.
I've seen against the Cowboys, was it?
Yeah,
the uppercuts,
yeah. Couple of unders, yep.
Stung by 1,000 bees. Yeah, mate. He can throw him.
Got him a beauty.
He'd probably cave me, but I don't know. I might just tackle him.
Just have a crack, mate. And then, obviously, Robbie Farah, very, he's one of the superstars of the game.
Yep.
And then I know you're close with the Burgess boys.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, so how was that like with just hanging out with those blokes every day? Because, mate, honestly, Sam is one of the superstars of not just Australia, but England as well.
Mate, he's just a contact sports superstar, really. Like anyone that sort of follows our game would know the name Sam Burgess. And, you know, he sort of took me under his wing a bit and really took care of me when I was there. Not just me, mate. Anyone that walked through the doors. He was just such a caring guy, man. Like, didn't matter what creed, what background you were, if you were playing, if you weren't. If you showed respect, you'd give it back tenfold. So that be hanging out with him, going around to his house, you know, just chilling with him, catching up.
What was his house like? I heard
large,
it was pretty good.
Very large, ocean views.
No way.
Yeah, in Maroubra was a cracking house, man. It was very good for Mad Monday as well.
That's your favourite time of the year.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? All of ours, let's be honest. But yeah, mate, we had some good nights out as well, Sammy, and mate, still like he actually brushed me recently, but I'll give him a brushing here and there. He's a superstar, so I'm sure he'll talk to me again.
Did you see him the other day coaching with the vape?
Sure did.
Oh, mate.
Naughty.
He's a cheeky boy. He's a cheeky boy.
Yeah.
So obviously your time at South's come to an end. How did you find out that they weren't going to renew you? Did they just have a conversation with you or just didn't speak to you at all?
That's almost a story in itself. So Madge, I sat down with Madge, was like, is there anything here for me next year moving forward? Told me there was only going to be something in the pre-season sort of space.
Yep.
I was like, okay, no worries. So he sort of told me I was going to be moving on. Then 2 weeks later, or even that week, sometime in that time frame, Russell Crowe sat me down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Russell Crowe found out that I was captain of Scots.
Yep.
And Angus was in my team, but I was captain, right?
Did he have like affiliation with that school?
I think his sons go there or something.
Yep.
Anyway, so he found out that I was captain over Angus and must have thought I was like some red hot shit player that wasn't playing that well. At a game, he just goes, mate, you're a superstar. We're going to keep you. We're not letting you go. You're going to be like, you know, the next face of CS. I'm going, how good is this? Like,
a big dog.
Late as Madge, I'm in. Like, you know, I'm going to start. And then that was like towards the end of the year. And then we get like this congratulations, farewell to our leaving players at the Red and Green Ball. And the first name that comes up, Toby Rudolf, with the what song was playing. I remember it because it burnt me up. Whatever it takes.
Oh, yeah.
Feel the adrenaline in my veins. Yeah, so that song.
Is that Imagine Dragons?
Imagine Dragons, that's the one, yeah.
Yep.
So that song burnt me for like years after a day. Because that was how I found out that I was not going to be there anymore. So
I might forget him to play that at Brookvale this year. Just
throw me off. Yeah, it'd be nice.
So, how are you feeling when you find that? Because obviously you spoke to Madge, you sort of got the, I'm going to be going. But then Russ is like, you're going to be the face.
Yeah, mate. It was weird. Like, I even called Sam after Russell gave me that chat. It was like, oh, this is promising. Like, could be staying here. And Sam was like, mate, sounds good. Like, hopefully it happens for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know, mate. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think Russell has much pull, like in terms of who actually is signed and whatnot. He just was sort of pumping my tyres up a bit. But it was what it was. I obviously wasn't stoked. I loved that team. I loved the boys there. We had such a good group when we were there together. I I remember talking to you when I got to the Sharks, being like, it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
And when I was at South, Sam, Sart, GI would put a text in, we're all out here.
Yeah, everyone's.
We're all there.
Yeah.
Whereas when I went to the Sharks, it was a bit of an older, younger crew, so not everyone was sort of talking, and it just wasn't the same vibe. So I would have loved to have stayed then, but yeah, got moved on and found my way in Brisbane.
So you spoke to us earlier. You had the chat with your mum in the backyard.
Yep.
It was a little bit emotional.
Yep.
How did Toby Rudolf get to Redcliffe? That's what people want to know, because there's a lot of opportunities. You could have played reserve grade here in Sydney, obviously.
Yeah.
How did you get to the club Redcliffe Dolphins?
So I was actually through my management, but also even going back, Brett Grenke and Anthony Cherrington.
Yes, yeah.
They were from the Queensland Cup,
Yep.
right? So they told me that the Queensland Cup's just a much better competition than New South Wales Cup. Like New South Wales Cup's actually reserve grade, as I'm sure you found, mate.
Yeah.
Like Queensland Cup is a real competition. Like
It's got first grade players playing there.
100%. People care about it. Like it doesn't matter if it doesn't have first grade players playing there.
Aren't the games live on TV up in
I
Queensland?
don't know about all of them, but there'd be a few more.
Yeah.
And they were called on radio as well. Like, mate, there were fans. Like, there were genuine fans that actually turn up to watch the East Tigers, to watch the Dolphins, to watch the Capras. Doesn't matter who you are, the Blackhawks. Like, people care about it. Queensland's just so rugby league mad, so they can, whatever they can lap up, you know what I mean, they'll lap up. So, found out that was sort of, I was like, okay, that's my path now, especially with how first grade, there was one team for one first grade, reserve grade team in New South Wales. So if you have a starting spot in South, well, too bad. You got 13 first graders coming back into one team. Over at Redcliffe, Broncos had 4 feeder clubs.
Oh, really?
So that time it was like Redcliffe, North, South, and Ipswich maybe.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they had 4.
They had 4 at the time. It's different now.
Yeah.
So there was maybe 3 or 4 players coming across, right? So I was like, if I can get a hold of starting spot in Redcliffe, I should be sweet, right?
Beauty.
Redcliffe I knew was one of the better clubs from talking to Anthony Cherrington, who was there the year before.
Yep.
So talked to my manager. He got me in touch with Redcliffe. Me and the general manager still stay in touch to this day. He signed me on the lowest paid deal out of anyone at the Dolphins at the time. It was still all right for like reserve grade, but it was lower than any player there.
That's me now. Don't worry about it.
How good is it?
Hey, we're the culture men.
Exactly right. Fry the energy.
That's it.
So he ended up sort of, mate, he still calls me now and just goes, what about that deal? I got I'm sucked in. His name's Grant Cleal. He's Crusher Cleal's brother or cousin.
So he's doing all the Redcliffe stuff now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not like the Crusher Cleal.
Yeah.
We call him Crusher as well, but he's his
his
cousin or brother.
yeah.
So he's like the manager of the NRL side now.
Yeah,
Back then he was manager of the Q Cup side anyway. So that was how it happened, man. I just went across, didn't know one person there. Everyone hated me again. 4 to 6 weeks, standard.
Stock standard.
Stock standard. Rudolph just powers on.
Yep.
And mate, it was turned out to be the best year of my life.
It was. We'll get into that, but talk to us about the jobs you had up there.
Ooh, there was a few. Started as a landscaper.
Yes. How long did this last?
1 month. Luckily, work ran out because I was going to quit. I was not going to do that job for
so you didn't get sacked because of your personality. You just got
no. That
work ran out.
Work ran out. Yeah. Luckily, I was going to quit otherwise. It was so.
Okay.
Mate, I went from being a first grader to carrying 40 kilogram pavers in a pool at 40-degree heat in the middle of the summer in Brisbane. Not it.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, sir. So that work ran out for a month. Then I was on Seek trying to find new jobs. What I could get. There was this weird like office job that I thought was an office job, but it turned out to be knocking on doors, trying to sell HelloFresh in an apron in the middle of summer. Again,
Just an apron, or knowing
mad.
you? Yeah.
No. Apron and some clothes. So trying to sign people at HelloFresh, get them 20 doors sent in my face every day. Well, probably like 200 actually.
Do you still remember the saying you had to say? Or
Yeah, what was it? I'd say, I bet you weren't expecting a good-looking rooster in an apron to show up at your front door. Slam.
How many times would you say that a day?
Mate, every time.
Really?
Yeah, and I talk really fast as well, so every now and again I just stumble the words and fall over. I just walk out the door. I'd start stumbling, but don't worry about it, I'll just go. And then the last job I was a truck driver, and that was mad. I actually really enjoyed that.
Did you have any incidents while you were being a truck driver?
A couple of blow-ups, a couple of crashes. One time, actually, this is funny. I was like taking the big dolly.
Yep.
Because I'd load up, what do you call it, cases of drinks and food, whatever, on my dolly. So one time I just like got it out of the truck. I put it back in the truck. I reefed it up. It was raining, and it slipped out of my hands and went boom, and just went straight through the back windshield. Broke all the glass. I was like, oh no, what do I do here? Called him up. Was like, hey guys, look, I was parked under a tree and a branch fell off and broke the car. I might need a new one. They bought it. So,
Really?
yeah, they bought it, which was good. So I still had a job there afterwards. I was
Wow.
breaking all the glass every time. A couple of crashes, but mate, it was good. Like no boss in the car.
Yep.
As many breaks as I wanted. I'd go to Woolworths 10 times a day and just get a chocolate milk, get a hot cross bun, get some sushi.
Just live the normal life.
Live a normal life. Never would pay for anything else. I was back in the days when Woolworths scanners weren't weighted, so saved a lot of money.
So what? One swipe for you, one swipe for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've gone from South training, professional schedule.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're working 5 days a week.
Yeah, 5 days a week.
How was training and like just going back to the real world after that?
Mate, the real world sucked.
Yep.
But I was used to it from working through 20s. I had a job throughout all of 20s as well. I only had the 1 year of grade, so I was pretty used to the work life. It just made me appreciate training more, honestly. Like, you get to training after a hard day's slog.
Yeah.
And you just with like the team, first 2 weeks were pretty crap when no one liked me.
Yeah.
But then,
once they get to know you.
yeah, mate, once they get to know me, it was sweet. Like, I'd love getting training. We were winning a fair bit as well, which was always, it was great to be part of a successful team. And had such a good crew there.
But
Like,
aren't you still weren't you a best man for one of your mates?
yeah, no, I was groomsman. I was a groomsman
sorry,
at his
yeah,
wedding,
yeah.
And that was, what was that, 2021, 22 it was, I think it was. Fitzy was there a couple of years back.
Okay, yeah.
So 4 years later, mate, we're still like good friends, still call him, whenever we get the chance. Jake Turpin was in that team.
Yeah, your Terps, yeah.
Tony
Staggs was, because he was a young kid. I remember watching the
18.
grand final.
Yeah, he was 18 years old and was winning his game single-handedly back then. So
He's always going to be a freak.
we saw the potential in him, that's for sure. And he was a ledge, man.
Yep.
I still call him every now and again as well. Like, there's so many guys in that team that, when it's not only a successful team, but a team full of just like good, solid blokes that you love hanging out with.
Yeah.
Mate, it's the dream.
So was it similar to South Sydney where you all hang out, you get coffees, or
Well, it was
just
different, right? Because it was reserve grade. Like, we're not all training together full time, but it was good because every second or third week was an away trip.
Okay, yep.
So it doesn't matter where it was, mate. If you're in Mackay or Rockhampton with 15, 18 your best mates, you're going to have a good time.
So you play hard and
We'd
party harder.
Man. We'd party so much.
Did you ever go to Papua New Guinea?
Yes.
How was that?
Loose.
Because you're a different. You would like that sort of culture, I reckon.
No, it was. We weren't allowed to leave, unfortunately. I was keen to get out there and
that's what I
mix
thought.
with the locals.
The beetle nut and all that sort of stuff.
Nah, not allowed.
Not allowed.
I'm trying to think if I can tell this story on air. There's a story that.
We can tell it. They can cut it out later.
Yeah, we can cut it out later.
No
Okay,
good.
true. Cameron Cullen and Jamila Pawadi were in that team.
Oh, geez, you had some loose humans.
Loose human beings, right? Correct. So we were over there, and I didn't know this until like later on. But the boys raided the doctor's bag.
Oh,
Got the green whistle.
yep. Oh, the green whistle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why. Me and my mate Sam Anderson were rooming. We didn't get a start with the green whistle. I was spewing, but the boys were like just absolutely off their chops on the green whistle. We were smacking whiskeys, and like after we won on the bell over there, so it was a massive game.
And they were good that year too, weren't
They
they?
were gone. They were so. We literally, I think it was like 8-6 on the bell when we won, and even afterwards, they do this like. It's this thing where you get one of the players from the opposite team to sing with the band after the game.
Oh, okay.
So I won there with a guitar singing Save Tonight for all the boys, and it was like a mad week, man.
So did you have to sing with one of the Papua New Guinea boys? Or?
Yeah, it was like a Papua New Guinea team.
Oh, wow.
Like a band, sorry, I meant to say. There was like 3 guys on stage, and they were all singing. They go, all right, boys, we got to get one. You got to nominate one person to...
And then...
Cameron Cullen gave me the nod. The week before, he was completely off his guts, and I was singing him songs to try and just like sing him to sleep. He would come around to my house, and after a night out, so he just looked at me and goes,
"Go over the nod.
You're up, son."
How'd you go? Did the boys receive it well?
Very well received. I think it's still on the Facebook page somewhere. You can find
really?
it. Yeah,
wow, we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, so that was, mate, like that was one trip among many that was just unreal. Cairns, hello, Gilligan's, not bad.
Never heard of it.
No, it's shit you wouldn't like it.
The wool shed around the corner too.
Oh, I didn't go there.
Oh,
jeez. I actually haven't heard of it.
Oh, mate.
Next time.
Great spot.
Next time.
So, obviously, you've reinvented yourself up there. Shane Flanagan was still coach at the Sharks when you got the contract. How did he approach you?
It was through Grant Jones.
Oh, yeah, Jonesy, yep.
Yeah.
Would he have been at South?
He was at South. Yep. So, mate, he just signed all South players, literally. So, when I got there, Aaron Gray was already there.
Yep.
Cruz Topiavi was there.
Yes, yep.
And then he got me across, Mawini.
Yeah,
Bryson Goodwin.
Yeah, oh, you did
mate,
too, yeah.
Everyone who was a former South player, Jonesy's got across. So I got a call driving the truck one day that Sharks would be sort of half keen.
Yep.
And I remember just after speaking with Jonesy about going down for an interview or a meeting or whatever, I just hung up the phone and just started screaming in the truck, yes,
It's back.
yes, it's happening again. I
Yeah.
can't, because I thought I was, never thought I was going to be back there again.
Yep.
And I think I was in, where was it? It was some weird shitty coast in Brisbane. Cleveland maybe, or can't remember. But I was just over the moon, man. I couldn't believe it. Went down for the interview after maybe a semi-final game or something.
Yep.
Had a chat with Andrew Gray, who was there.
Yep.
Flano, Matty J, all the guys that were around when you were there, and they just, mate, come along. I couldn't believe it.
Matty J actually when we put up that video of Wade, what he said about you,
Oh, here we go.
he goes me, I had to train that Derek for 6 months.
He loved it.
Matty J's
He
a
loved it.
champion.
He's a legend, man. I love
And
that guy.
And he also asked, do you remember what Toby did to Rob, the weights trainer?
You know he's coming back.
Is he back? Is he?
Our trainer's going away to Italy for like 6 weeks, and Rob's coming back.
Oh, so for the people at home, Toby.
This was you started this, by the way. You made me do this, just so everyone knows at home. Don't listen to what this guy says is gospel.
So Rob's a stiff. He's a nerd,
All that. Yeah.
and he doesn't like anything that's out of his control.
Yeah,
And I just said to Toby one day, maybe you should get nude and start dancing around him in the gym.
Yeah.
And geez, he didn't take that well. Get out of my fucking gym now.
Yeah, he was not happy, man. Well, he used to like say to SJ and that Sean Johnson when he was wearing just skins and no shorts. What's that shit? You this so and so and so.
Yeah.
So, mate, to go from that to a man that was completely nude. I wasn't dancing around him. I was embracing him.
Yeah,
dude.
you were what do we call it? Dry humping.
Yeah, we would call it that, I think. Yeah. Well, the song was also "Rhythm of the Night," which every time would come on. Since then,
You got to get nude.
you got to get nude. I look at you, the song come on, and I look at you. I'm like, who am I getting today?
Oh, mate.
Who am I
That
getting today?
was the funny thing about you, mate. But we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
So you get 2-year deal? Was it?
Yeah, 2-year deal. 1 year. No, both years were actually development. 2-year development deal.
Oh, really? So not even
Yeah.
top 30. So
No.
just that opportunity to get back in development.
Yep.
So you signed that?
Sign that.
Everything happy?
Yep.
How was your mum's reaction?
Oh, mate, every
And
time
Josh, sorry,
and
and
Josh,
Josh,
mate.
yeah.
Every time I get, anytime that sort of news comes around, the thing I look forward to most is telling the family.
Yeah.
Over the moon, just like I was. I just remember that. I think Josh was actually screaming louder than me when he found out.
Oh,
So
I would love to have seen that big unit.
mate, it was mad. It was mad. So it was unreal. It was good to like a moment to share with the family. And
Yep.
yeah, mate, it was. I'm lost for words for it, to be honest.
So going into that, obviously you did it at semi-final time,
Did what?
the contract with the Sharks.
Yep.
You sign, you play the grand final for Redcliffe.
Yep.
Is that the one when you hurt? Is that when you hurt your knee in the
So
grand final, or was it
the-
the?
So it was the Queensland Cup Grand Final,
Yep.
Clive Churchill.
Yep.
Second one, National Grand Final.
Is that when you did your knee?
That was on Dibba knee.
All right. So in the grand final, you win that grand final.
Yep.
Tell the boys a story, Clive.
So yeah, played a pretty good game.
Yep.
Set the tone early, you might say. Even ended up going off as a back rower. Didn't play 80 minutes.
I remember watching that game. You were outstanding.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I watched
thanks,
that game.
Aaron.
Oh,
Appreciate
I love
that.
me footy. I watched it. You were
Stuff
really good.
Cute. Thank you.
Yeah.
But mate, yeah, had a blinder of a game. Everything's went right for me. Running off Cam Cullen, who was the best half in the comp,
Yep.
helped as well. Tony Staggs on my edge too, I'm pretty sure.
Not bad.
Or Tom Opacek, actually. He was a gunner too. So
Opacek's there as well, was he?
Opacek was, mate, we had a gun team. We had a gun
Jeez.
team, man. So yeah, anyway, got the time of the tournament where, all right, boys, man of the match, number 11, Redcliffe Dolphins, and I thought Trey Fuller was going to get it, our fullback. He scored a hat trick or something, but get up there and wearing the medal, and my mum and my brother were in the crowd, and I just like sort of look at them, and I'm just going, how good is this, man? Like, this is the best thing ever. On top of the world, this is the highs and lows of rugby league, the roller coaster as you know it.
Next week.
Even before that, actually, before we actually got on the plane, Terps and I had a night out. We were like, man, we've already won the grand final. We don't really care about the next week. So the night before the game, went out, had a mad night in Brisbane, had the best time ever. Almost was late to the game.
Oh,
Almost late to the plane, to get to Sydney.
wow.
Get down there. Mate, we didn't take it seriously at all. We all were jumping off the 10-metre diving board in the Sydney pool.
Yeah, yep.
We all just like, oh, we'll just go there. Like, oh, let's go for a team swim before the game.
Knowing you.
And it was like, mate, we're doing this before the game.
Yep.
Went up there, jumped down, got escorted out, the whole team. That was sick. And then, yeah, the game was played, I think 15 minutes in. My mate, who I was a groomsman at his wedding,
Yep.
named Sam Anderson, by the way, absolute legend.
Good front rower.
Good front row,
He played
man.
a bit of first grade at Penrith.
Yeah, 7 games.
Yeah.
Not many, eh?
That's all right. Better than
No,
none.
I hope he's like listening and not many, eh, Sammy? Not
7
many, eh?
more than others, mate.
7 more than others, yeah, nice. He'll love you for saying
Yeah.
that. So we Sam puts a late shot on the half,
Yep.
who just gets sent flying into my leg. My leg was sort of
Oh.
straight. Hyperextended my knee and just snapped everything in there.
Oh, so you did everything. ACL.
It was not PCL, it was ACL, MCL, meniscus.
Oh,
So
no.
I didn't do. I saved the PCL.
Yep.
I got up and the guy, the like sort of medical helper, I wasn't a physio, but like the helper guy, did a test on my knee. He goes, "Oh mate, sweet as." Because the first thing I thought was, "Oh, like
Sharks.
ACL sharks." Like I'm not gonna have. He goes, "Mate, no, it feels pretty solid." So I was like, "Oh, sweet." So got up, played like 10 more minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With a busted ACL.
With a busted ACL,
Wow.
yeah. But then like 10 minutes into the game, there was a loose ball, and I went to sprint. My body wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "No, this isn't right." So I went off, and the doctor actually assessed me, and he goes, "Oh, mate," had a feel. He goes, "Oh, you've buggered your ACL."
Oh,
That's how he told me.
Not what you want to hear.
So I ended up bawling my eyes out again.
Yep.
I seem to cry a lot in these stories, but
That's all right. It's
no,
emotional.
yeah, man, emotional guy. Wear my heart on my sleeve.
That's it.
So yeah, knee done, thinking end of the world. Went on Mad Monday, had a good time.
Yep.
As good as you can with a busted knee. And then had the 3 worst days of my life. I was waiting for the results for 3 days in bed after Mad Monday.
And you
when
knew
I
it was coming.
I knew it was coming, and like
Yep.
I was, I had 2 Mad Mondays in a row. Hadn't slept for like 2 or 3 days in the last one. To follow mate, I was in there for 3 days.
Yeah.
I was in bed for 3 days waiting for the call, watching
Yep.
movies, just like bawling my eyes out because I was just, I don't know,
Yeah.
coming down from the emotion of the game. And then get the call that my knee's busted up. And we arrive at Sharks with Wade Graham.
Did you ever think that the Sharks would sort of say, "Mate, we don't want you now," or
There was. I thought that a lot in South in 20s.
Oh, yep.
Actually, funnily enough, when even though I'd signed a deal, I thought they're gonna brush me. But
yeah,
Sharks is a bit different. I signed a 2-year deal, and I sort of, they gave me a call. Actually, they were really good. They gave me a call when it all happened,
oh, beautiful.
and they were like, "Mate."
Was that Flano or
Andrew Gray?
Oh, Andrew Gray. Oh, nice.
Andrew Gray gave me a call. He was like, "Mate, I think it'll be sweet. Like, it looks like from the footage you only did this and this." Turned out he was wrong, but
Yep.
they stuck by me solid as, man. So,
They're pretty good with their rehab there too.
mate, Sam Madden was there at the
Yeah,
time, Mr. Magic
champion.
Hands,
Yeah.
Disco,
Oh, Disco Dave.
Yeah,
I
Disco
forgot about
Dave.
Yeah, Garrick.
yeah, he was
Burger.
yeah, you said it, my friend.
Oh, mate.
Yeah,
So you get there. A little funny story. I remember because I didn't start back till later, being one of the older boys.
yeah.
We had a piss up at Gows's house.
I
Was it
remember this.
Gows's?
Gows's.
Yeah, and that's when the Clive started, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was when I started.
On one particular
Player,
Person.
individual, Mr. Josh Morris.
Josh.
Oh, mate, I love J Moss now. I hated him for a bit there, but
You got to know how to take J.
You
Moss.
do,
I
you do.
remember how many times I tell you, I said, "No, mate,
Yeah.
just give him time."
he's all right.
He's
and
a good bloke.
Mate, he's a ledge.
Yeah.
He's a ledge. All praise to him. He's the man. So, but at the time, I didn't know him, right? So, and at the time as well, I think I might have been like 2 to 4 weeks after surgery.
You had your brace on.
I had my brace on. I'm lippy as. I'm feeling it. I'm getting drunk. Finally, like
Starting to get around the boys.
starting around the boys. Oh, people are laughing at me. People
Yeah.
might like me now. I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. And start going. Oh yeah, boys. Like you guys did all right last year. Come third, it's respectable, but I want a comp. I've got a Clive Churchill. You guys might need to maybe work on some few things. I'll give you some pointers if you want. J-Moz, how many comps do you won, mate?
The worst person to do it to.
Oh, and he starts rattling off. Oh, you play for your country, mate. You play for Australia.
Play for Origin yet?
You play one game in the NRL, mate.
Oh, mate.
So I took it a bit personally, even though I was the one giving it to him. Was like, oh, he's a Derek, whatever, this, that. Not realising that I was, bragging about the one thing he didn't have in the game, done everything else.
Mate, it was hilarious.
Yeah, everyone was loving it.
Oh,
Everyone
it was the
loving
best. And we were all like, keep going, mate. Keep going.
Yeah, you'll feed me. You'll feed me. And I kept giving it to him and ended up doing mate, I was 4 weeks post-surgery. I think Jack Williams was like giving me an attitude adjustment, John Cena.
Well, I think you asked for the tombstone.
Oh, no, yeah.
You asked for the tombstone pole driver.
It was it was all me. It was all me. Like, hey, do you mind giving me a tombstone?
Yeah, oh, mate. That's a
Yeah.
good crew down there.
It was, yeah.
And then obviously, so you had the whole year in rehab with Wade Graham.
Yes.
And it wasn't until you come out, I think, did you play your first game for Concord Build?
Oh, but Glebe, yeah.
Glebe Build it was.
Yeah.
And the boys go, mate, this bloke can actually play.
Yeah, after, don't get me wrong, that was the one time I brought out the Clive.
Yeah.
The Clive then chat was from there on Christmas till I played. I kept
when was
saying
that? That
Clive.
was like August, wasn't it? Because it was like 6 or 7 rounds. to
Yeah,
go.
that was it. So it would have been August. Would have been
Yeah.
late August, early August, something like that.
Then you play for Newtown.
Yep.
And then the boys start getting around and going, mate, this bloke's a champion.
Yeah.
And I never forget, we got knocked out.
Mhm.
When did we got knocked out by Manly? Was that?
Yeah, it was it was round one of the finals down in Manly because you guys just snuck in. I'm pretty sure.
And you played. Was it the semi-final for the
was
Jets that day?
It was against the Bears.
Yeah, and you weren't supposed to win. You
No.
finished 8th.
Yeah, 7th.
And you knocked off the team coming 2nd.
Yep.
And then we were like, mate, we're having a beer at Bondi.
Yeah.
And you'd been trying to get everyone to come across the bridge.
Yeah, no,
For that long. And, mate, when you walked up,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing you come in that day.
Yeah.
It was like Christmas for a big goal.
I was stoked.
Oh, mate, I've never
high
seen.
fives everyone. And
Mate, it was like a dead set wrestler making his entrance, like high-fiving everyone. You were unbelievable, and the night you put on for the boys.
Did me best.
I think that was the night you saw Robbie Farah at the.
It was that night. It was that
or
night.
Coogee Pav or whatever it
Coogee
was.
Pav, yeah.
Yeah. And then so you have a good run. You make the grand final. You win the grand final on your brother Billy McGillis's great kick.
Yep, my dad.
Yes, and then I remember I was at home and I was watching the game. Was it the Queensland Cup versus New South Wales?
Yeah, versus Billy Bears.
You score on the bell.
We do.
And like I remember watching, you were outstanding, and I was like, "This can't happen.
It's not again."
No, this can't happen." And they go, "Oh, we're going to do the man of the match."
Yeah.
So I just started filming it, and I go, "Please don't, please don't." Yeah. Toby Rudolf, man of the match.
2 Clive.
First thing that got written in the WhatsApp group, you are fucking kidding. Like, we were happy for the boy. We just didn't want Clive to get another one.
Mate.
And then, mate.
Clive does what Clive does, baby.
That whole preseason.
Yeah.
Was,
it would have been torture for you.
Oh, mate.
Would have been torture for you.
And J-Moz was already off it because he wanted to go to the Roosters.
Yeah, correct.
And then, not one Clive, 2 Clives.
2 Clives. How many grand finals you won?
Mate.
How many Clive Churchills? Yeah.
So obviously you have another big preseason.
Yep.
The boys are around you now. It's different.
Yes, it's different.
Second year around. Was your goal just to get a game of first grade?
My goal was to make the side.
Yep.
I felt like I could have made it the year before, in some way or another, but obviously injury and whatever.
Yep.
So the aim was to play. The aim was to be in the team. I don't know if I was thinking week to week or whatever. I just knew I wanted to be playing first grade by this stage, right? I knew I had it in me.
Yep.
So I remember training well. I again went to Thailand before this preseason.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to talk to you about it before. Was that a ritual you did every year, go to Thailand to get fit? Because you used to come back flying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I would do it most years. Like there were some years I'd sort of just party.
Yep.
And then come back busted. But I think since 2000 and when was it when I went over there? 16 into 17 when I did it the first time.
Yep.
And then I did it, pretty much every year since then. Didn't do it last year because of my toe injury, unfortunately. But yeah, so I did it again. I went to Thailand, got fit as.
Yep.
Come down. I think I won the yo-yo test.
Yeah, you're flying.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this could be good. Bomber was loving it as well.
And Bomber loved the fitness, the body composition.
Yeah.
And mate, you were probably 1-on-1 for everything. You were the top for that.
Yeah, long of those days gone. But anyway, that was good while I lasted.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, mate, can't run anymore, but it's all right. So yeah, ended up sort of getting in and amongst the first grade team. Like, you sort of started splitting into teams.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I was like looking at the team list, going like, "Oh, could be in there somewhere." Then Priz goes to England.
Yes.
I remember when that happened. Like literally that day, as soon as he left, I think Braden Ueli came up to me and goes, "This could be you here.
Yep.
You could be on here. You might even spoke to me as well." And a few of the older boys were saying like, "You ready to go? This could be you here."
Yep.
We had the final before round 1, the final sort of training. I was in India for something. I threw your hat away. Do you remember that?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I think it was a proper post session, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but I was really angry for something. I don't know
Really?
what. Yeah. Whether you were just, I don't know, being classic you, elbows and whatever, and
We're just helping the young dogs.
Oh yeah,
Just
that's
getting
what
used
you
to
call it. I like it now. I can look back on fond memories now, but
Hey, I always spoke to you in the sheds and looked after you.
you did, mate. You did, of course. But yeah, I threw your hat away and was like, "No, fuck you, we'll do whatever."
I think it was like you had a good play of the ball and I tried to hold you down.
Something like
it was on the
something
try
like
line, yeah.
real petty for me.
Yeah,
Jesus.
no, but Bomber was like, let's get into these young guys. I was like, hey. So, but then he was like, to you guys, I want you to run all over these young guys.
Yeah.
So he was
Smart,
winding up
smart,
both ends, yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
And then the team list gets spread out. Number 1, Will Kennedy, blah, 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 so on. Number 16, NRL debut, Toby Rudolf. And you look at me and go, not too fucking up. What were you saying? You're not so angry now, are you, Toby? I was like, fair enough.
I think we already knew,
yeah,
but we weren't allowed to say anything to you.
Yeah.
What's going through your head? Who's the first person you ring?
Mum
Yep.
was the first person. Josh was the second.
Yep.
might have been the other way around, but called Liam.
Yep.
Liam Knight, my roommate at the time.
Yes. Yep.
I called my friends from school, my
Mhm.
Scots mates, the country boys that I still best mates with this day.
They're the blokes down at Mudgee.
One's in Mudgee,
Yep.
one's in Orange, one's in Port Macquarie. They actually now one's in Batman for Cairns and the other two are in Dubbo, but
Okay,
all
nice.
still around.
Yep.
Called everyone, said it was going to happen. Couldn't believe it.
You know the other
dream.
thing? Could you believe it was against South Sydney?
That was so when I found out that was the draw early on. I was
Yep.
like, round one.
Yep.
Now it's got to be round one, right? So we get to the game. This is when COVID's just starting, by the way.
Yes.
So luckily, and I do mean luckily because it would have been such a different debut otherwise. My whole family was there. Mum presented me with the jersey.
Yep.
Josh presented me with the jersey. My auntie Claire was in there too.
Can I say one thing?
I know you're gonna say.
No, I remember when your brother come in. A lot of the boys were like, "What the hell?"
What is that thing?
Josh comes in with rainbow color hair.
Yeah,
And was it a tie dye shirt?
Yeah.
But he spoke lovely. Like
Yeah.
what is it? The Don't Judge a Book by its cover. He's one of
100%.
the great blokes you'll meet.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone was like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Everyone was like, "Is he related to you?"
Yeah.
You sure?
Because you had the long hair, he had the short hair.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "What's going on here?"
He's covered head to toe and tats. I got none. So it was a bit of a stark difference in brothers. But yeah, he spoke really well. Mum almost cried. It was almost made me cry.
Yep.
Played. We almost won actually. So
close.
So close. I think it was CT forward pass to Jamos.
Right on the bell. Yeah.
Right on the bell. Otherwise, that was and Jamos had to play in the wing. He'd have been stoked with that.
No comment.
So we almost got the win, and your debut game. Like, don't get me wrong, it would be nice to win, but
Yeah.
I was just happy to play the game, man. So I afterwards went to the pub with my whole family and everyone that came to watch. There's about 20 people there or so, and it was good because 2 weeks later, the following week there was no crowds.
Well, that was against Melbourne. Remember, it was like we played it was like a training run.
Yeah, it was weird.
Did you find that hard?
I found it weird. But like also if you think about it, I only played in front of a big crowd once before that,
Yeah.
so I was used to playing in front of no one.
It was completely weird.
It was weird. It was like a training run because it was just all you could hear was like the calls.
And then
the
so we had
players.
was it 8 weeks off we had?
8 weeks off.
So and we lost those first 2 games. Like
We
we
did.
used like, mate, what's this NRL about?
I was I was just happy to play, man.
Yeah.
I was just happy to play. I was just happy to be in the side, playing with guys like yourself and
Yep.
Bop and Wado, Chad, list goes on. I was just
Were you frustrated that it got taken away from you?
yeah, well, it was more just worry about like what's gonna happen now. Because no one knew what was really gonna happen. I ended up
Well, that's what I was going to say. And in this unknown process, you signed with the Warriors for 3 years, wasn't it?
yeah, I agreed to terms. I didn't sign
Sorry,
a proper
agreed to terms.
contract.
Sorry, yep.
I agreed to terms with them, and I was, at the time.
I was shattered, mate, and I only played 2 games with you.
Yeah, mate.
I was like, what are you doing?
I know, and like it was. Don't get me wrong, I was keen to go over there, but the only reason I signed was because the Sharks hadn't offered me a contract yet, right?
It was unknown.
It was an unknown. No one knew how I was going to go, but the Sharks hadn't offered me anything. And when COVID happened, the NRL said you can't offer new contracts at this time before we know what's going on, right?
Because they had to do a salary cap, everything, yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, the only thing I have with my name on it and some numbers next to it is from the Warriors.
Yep.
So I was like, look, this keeps the dream alive, I'll go to New Zealand. I was like thinking about it, mate, it'll be good.
Yeah, I remember talking to you about it. You're like, oh, it could be a good change.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go to home.
I went there for a tour before this,
Yep.
and I thought I'd just go over there for a free trip with Mum. Turned out to be unreal. Turned out to be a
Yeah.
mad tour. Mooks,
Because there was a couple of yous, wasn't there?
going over to New Zealand.
Like that was touring at the same time. Didn't you go with a
No,
couple
I
of
just went with Mum. No, I
I
went with
thought-
Mum.
Well, you knew a few over there, didn't you?
We had dinner with Carl Lawton,
That's it.
Adam Kieran,
Yep.
and was there
Was
one more
Egan?
person?
Wade Egan?
Yeah, it might have been him too. I can't
Yeah.
remember. But we had a good night out on the piss, and Warriors paid for everything, which is
Mhm.
mad. And
Yep.
I had a hotel room, so I had a little after party back there. It was
Big
good.
Carlos is one of the greats.
He's one of the greats, man.
Yeah.
Adam Kieran, ledge too. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this could be all right? So fast forward when COVID's going on, I signed with the Warriors, but then as this happens, my brother moved to Bali.
Oh,
So Mum's there by herself. He's
Yep.
he's working over there. At the same time, my grandmother, my Oma,
Oma, yep.
gets cancer. So I'm going, well, if I go to New Zealand now, then,
With the COVID restrictions.
COVID restrictions, I won't be here for Oma.
Yep.
Mum's going to be here by herself, taking care of her mum. Josh is in Bali, so it just didn't feel right. So I had to call him up
Yep.
and give him the bad news, which didn't go down too well, but it's it is what it is.
Yep.
It is what it had to be. So luckily, Wade pretty much got me to stay there.
'Cause
So
remember you asked me, like,
yeah,
I don't want to go. And I was like, mate, I've got no idea. I
Yeah.
said, before I would say to speak to Gow, but you've got to speak to Wado.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
the big dog.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
He if it wasn't for him, I would have probably gone, man.
Really?
Yeah, he did everything in his power, which is funny in the massive contrast of
The scheme of things, yeah.
he tried to get me sacked at the start
He's off, yeah.
when I first go, and then he's trying to save me. So
Oh, mate.
he had a good sit down with Bomber, and we had to
Well, Bomber wanted you.
Bomber wanted me, of course
Yeah,
he did.
He
but
wanted to sign you in the preseason.
Yeah. But he couldn't. Like I said, COVID couldn't
Hands
get the
are
contract
tied,
out there.
yeah.
Hands are tied. So Wader did some massive work in the background for me after I told the Warriors that I couldn't be there anymore, and it was a bit of back and forth with Warriors and a bit of dramas, but it all got sorted, and ended up signing. I think it was that year. I signed a 1-year extension.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because I wasn't too happy with I was like, no, I think I can do more than this. Back myself. So back myself with the 1-year deal. That led us into 2021. Moved to the bubble.
Yep.
And then from there, signed the 3-year deal.
3-year deal, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, well, mate, you're Sharks legend. Now. They love you down there, mate. You're a god.
Oh, mate, look, I just do. I put on my boot one at a time like everyone else.
What about one night after a game? I think we were playing against the Dragons.
Okay.
So we've had a great win. I think we smoked them that night. We pumped them.
At Cogra?
At Cogra Stadium.
Yeah.
We had to move from Shark Park to Cogra, or PointsBet, whatever it is called now.
Yeah.
You go, I want to have 1,000 beers later tonight.
Yes.
And I want to go to Northies, try and pull something. Anything will do.
Yes.
Did you think that would get so much media attention?
No. Did you?
No.
Not really?
I thought it was play on.
I thought it was pretty funny, eh?
Because if anyone knows you,
Yeah.
you're a unique character.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as you said, you've come out being fluid with your sexuality.
Yeah.
So that anything could have meant.
Mate, I want to have a chat to the NRL and ask them for an apology because they just assumed that I was straight.
Yeah, exactly right. Mate, I didn't even know what you were.
No, neither do I still, to be honest. But look, mate, it was storm in a teacup, I reckon.
Yep.
What I didn't know at the time, bad timing on my part, I didn't know there was I think it was a women's rights march down in Canberra.
Oh, okay.
Which I was told about later.
Yes.
So it was poor timing, which I wasn't aware of. Landed myself in some hot water there, for sure. But, mate, the world these days, you can't say anything.
No, you can't.
It's a shame. And
that woke, isn't it? Woke.
The woke culture.
Yeah.
Like, I really hope in years to come that we can actually take a joke.
Oh,
yeah, mate.
They take everything too seriously.
Too seriously, mate. Like, we're a game of blue collar people that work hard, that grow up with, different sense of humour. And, if I try to project it, you know what was funny about it too? There wasn't one person, male, female, old, young, whatever, that said what I said was offensive. I had mostly old women coming to me and going, hey, love, I thought that was the funniest thing ever what you said. Mate, I thought it was unreal.
I had people come, heaps of women coming up. Mate, he's hilarious, that too. Love him being him.
Yeah.
He's genuine.
Yeah.
And you don't get that because players are too scared to be like that.
Well, you can see why.
Exactly right.
You can see why.
And, a story I'd love for you to tell is not many people, only the playing group. Remember when Ian Roberts come to train that day?
Yeah.
And we did that theatre sports?
Yep.
His reaction to the way, for the people out there, we did it's like a theatre sports, how to handle yourself in different situations. And it was a person coming out in the sheds as gay. Was that right?
Yes.
And just how genuine you were with him. I think he was supposed to just play along and be happy, but he actually genuinely cried with the response that you gave.
Yeah.
And he just said how authentic it was.
Yeah.
And it was just something he's never been hit before by.
Yeah. I remember that. That was he sort of said,
And the other one was the boys sort of wanted you to get up and do it because you're a funny guy,
Yeah.
take the piss, but you were actually genuine.
Yeah, well, I hadn't been in that situation before, but mate, I've got my uncle's gay, my godmother's gay.
Yep.
Mum just seems to attract the gays, and gays love mum. So, I've been surrounded by that my whole life, and all I've ever seen from that community is love and care and just such kind nature. I'm sure there are bad ones out there too, but mate, all I've
From
seen
your
was,
experience.
from my experience, it was all positive, and I love the rainbow community. Safe to say. So when he sort of said, "Oh, boys, putting doing the acting," my roommate is my roommate, he's my boyfriend. And I just went, "Look, yeah, mate, I couldn't care less. I'm telling you right now, no one in this team can care less. We love you for who you are.
Yeah.
You're a great bloke. You're a great player. To all my mate acting here, Mel Gibson. Hello, give me a call. Russell Crowe.
Russell,
give me a start.
Don't give him a pump up. He might resell you again.
Sorry, true. And then he ended up getting real emotional about it, which is crazy.
And we thought at the time he was just being emotional for the acting, but
he
was actually, and he stopped it.
Yeah.
It was, mate, that was good by you.
Yeah, well, mate, it was just, like I said, mate, all I've ever done is be me.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm not putting anything on. It's just who I am.
Well, speaking of being you, what about the modelling?
Ooh.
Mate, from a bloke that was door hopping, Hello Fresh.
Yeah.
Now you're promoting, what was it, Johnny Big, Budgie
Johnny Big,
Smugglers.
Budgie.
What else you got
Yeah.
yourself on?
I've just signed with Puma. Let me get my feet up
Oh,
here.
well done,
Boom.
mate. Well, they're
Rainbow
nice little
Community
sneakers.
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
nice.
yes.
So I've got a bit of stuff. Look, it's unreal. I mean, if someone wants to pay me to take photos of me, I'm not going to say no.
Because I remember you used to ask me, like, I was, mate, go for it.
Yeah,
Do what you gotta do,
Well,
man.
I didn't know anything. Like, I had no sort of...
Yeah.
Didn't know anything in the game. I started I debuted at 24, so I was a bit late to the game as well, but late to the picture. But once I was, I had good role models like yourself and Wade to bounce ideas off, and everyone was real supportive about it, and got some really nice free clothes out of it too. So
did you what? And you also bring them in for the boys, unlike other blokes.
Other blokes? Who are you trying to say?
I'm just saying.
You got anyone in mind?
No. Do you have anyone in mind?
Well, you said it. Someone's asking you.
I'm not going into it, mate.
Okay, no worries. All good.
And then what about cutting your locks off for charity? Was that hard? Because I remember telling the story about your hair.
Oh, yeah. So for years, I'd said. So when I was at South in 17, I had this haircut here, for those who can see.
And the one Madge didn't like?
The one Madge didn't like, yeah. And played rubbish. The year before, when I was 20, playing in 20s, had the long hair again.
Yep.
Killed it. Had a great year, right? As soon as I cut the hair, during that year, it all started to go downhill. So I thought, went back to Redcliffe, grew it out. I thought, well, magic's in the hair. I can never cut it again, or else I'll probably play for Newtown, or even worse, De La Salle, who knows? So I always wanted to keep it. But then by the end of 23, because I cut it last year, end of 22, started 23, I was like, I wanted to change. Pre-season was disgusting with long hair. I'm sure you would have experienced it, mate.
Especially down at Cronulla.
Exactly right. My hair was everywhere as well. I'd try to get a breath of fresh air when I'm, got no air in the lungs. I've got to get a whole head of hair. It was gross.
At the front.
Oh, it was the worst. So I thought, it's time to get rid of it. And that was just, I didn't really, I just knew the world's greatest shave because, it's pretty synonymous in Australia.
It's massive, yeah.
It's huge. So I just thought, well, if I'm going to cut it off, may as well just do it this way and raised a fair bit of money, which was...
How much was your goal?
I didn't really have them. I would have 10 grand. Oh, no, I did. I said 10 grand.
Yep.
And I would shave off hair and beard.
Yep.
And then I was like, 20 grand I'll do my body, and 30 grand I'll do this. And ended up getting like 42 grand.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a huge achievement, man.
Mate, I couldn't believe it. Believe it.
That's unbelievable. And then I remember the day, you looks just different. Did your brother cut your hair too, didn't he?
Yeah, Josh come in and did it for me.
It was just so different, mate. Because I've always known you with long hair. It was funny. I remember we commentated you. It was like, looks like a different bloke.
Yeah, Mum thought I was Will Kennedy a fair bit. Mum really can't see too well, and we've got the same sort. Yeah. Obviously, Mum can't really see the big moving, galumping.
No, that's right, mate. You move quick, mate. You move quick.
No, I'll stop it.
So we've mentioned your brother a fair bit. Why is he your hero?
Man, I don't know.
Because you had those couple of years where you didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
Did you feel lost then, or?
No, I was just a young kid growing up. I had Mum there. I wasn't lost because, like I said, I didn't really have him in my life. He was in my life, but we weren't close, and I didn't really miss him or anything like that. But why is he? You know what? I see how people treat him.
Yeah.
And I see how he treats people.
Yep.
And he's just the most genuine guy I've met in life today.
Yeah.
He cares so much. He's probably the funniest human being I've ever met as well.
Yeah, I still talk to him now.
Mate, he cares. I'm pretty sure when you got told that you weren't going to be at the Sharks anymore, I think he gave you a message as well, man.
He messaged me straight away. He was filthy,
You see, yeah. So, he cares. And
yeah.
Like I said, I see how he treats everyone, how everyone treats him. And, there's not one person that doesn't love him.
No.
And he's just, he's done very well for himself. He's got, bit of stuff going on in Bali. And he's come from a very humble beginning, same as me, No dad in the picture either.
Yep. That's hard.
Mate, we didn't know any other way.
Exactly.
So, I love him, big brother. He's a good man, and mate, got all the time in the world for him.
For me, looking at that, my biggest thing I take out of those things is do not judge a book by its cover. He's a big, scary looking man. He's got tats from toe to the top of his melon.
Yeah.
But he's one of the most genuine blokes, and I think that's where it rubs off so much on you, mate.
I think so.
Craig Fitzgibbons. Look, not many people know too much about him.
Okay.
What's he like?
He's a massive Derek.
Yeah.
No, Jay, no. He's a legend. He's a legend, man.
Everything you hear from the players, he's a great bloke.
No, he is. He's one of the best. He's just like a good dude. Like that's the way I describe him. Like he doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't matter who you are if you're playing. He'll sit down. He'll chew the fat. He'll have a yarn.
Yep.
And also, he's got one of the most amazing rugby league brains
Really?
you'll come across. Not to mention, like, he's had one of the greatest careers ever.
Mate, unbelievable.
But you'll never hear it from him. He never brings it up.
Very modest.
So modest. Like, he hates bringing examples of himself because, you know, it's not about him. It's about us.
Yep.
That's from his point of view. He's nuts as well.
All coaches are.
You're right.
Except for Benji.
At the moment, yeah. That'll change. Mate, he wrestles for an hour and a half on game day.
He does.
I've told this story before. Yeah, he wrestles an hour and a half on game day. Just when he comes to tell us to go hard and to work hard and to bash each other up, he's bashed up, so he feels like he can do it.
Yep.
So crazy. Loves his surfing, loves his jiu-jitsu.
Yep. So right up your alley.
Yeah, exactly right. We, talk about sort of, I'm not a mad surf talker, but he is, so I don't mind listening to picking his brain about some stuff. And mate, he's just someone you can talk to. He's just a personable guy.
How does he go with the character the Dolph?
He handles it well.
Yeah.
He handles it well. He gives me a gobful every Mad Monday.
Does the Dolph come back?
Yeah.
Because the Dolph can't keep that mouth quiet.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, I'll come back. There's stories that I cannot tell on air, no way, but geez, I wish I could.
Yep.
But mate, he's, everyone sort of jokes that it's Craig Rudolf, he's my dad and that. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, I joke.
But you know what? He's not a bad one to be.
Nah, he's all right. Happy with that.
It.
Yeah. For an old bloke with no hair, tall, big rig, solid.
He's got a fair rig on him.
He's got a fair, he
I bumped him
hard.
the other day, actually. We were commentating your game and he put out the box. And he's always up for a chat too.
Yeah, mate.
And that was at half time.
Yeah, mate, he doesn't care. It's like it's funny, like, so I say that Josh is my dad a bit as well. Like, even though he's my brother, he's got that father figure. And then Josh actually came to Mad Monday last year.
How did the Fitz handle?
Oh, he loves him.
You spoke about Liam Knight earlier on in the podcast. Yeah. You two had a podcast together.
We did.
Stuck in the Middle?
Stuck in the Middle with the K.
And how's that going?
No, it's no longer at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah. So, so Liam's trying, obviously, make a name for himself with the Bulldogs. Yep. And from what I heard, Gus Gould wasn't the biggest fan of it. We got two blokes with very loose lips on there saying some crazy stories.
Wild personalities.
You can see where he's coming from.
Yes.
And Liam sort of told us we had to pull the pin for the time being.
Yep.
Hopefully we can resume at some stage in the future.
I actually liked watching it, so hopefully you can come back on.
Well, we'll see how we go. I had some good guests in.
Surprised never got a call up.
Well, maybe if we can get back there, you'll be the first guest. I promise you.
That's all right. You got Jake Travojevic ahead of me.
We had to get his brother as well.
Yeah, so you're using Jake for Tom, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is there any ambitions to be in the media post-footy? Because, you're a lovable character.
You know what? Like, people ask me that all the time and say, you'll be sweet after footy, you'll have media. And it's not something you can rely on.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be mad. I'd love to do it for sure. But my plan for after footy is honestly to take some money that I made through footy, travel see the world. If I got, take 50 grand away with me or something, stay in hostels along the way, stay for free, just do some work around there and just figure out who I am, without footy.
So you just want to just see what the world's like.
Yeah, but like in saying that, if Channel 9 or Triple M gives me a call, says come down, I can put it on hold for a bit. So,
mate, I think the boys would be happy to have you.
I'd love to, yeah. Like, I love footy.
Well,
I think it's pretty obvious.
Speaking of travel, like, you've done a fair bit already.
Yeah, I've done a little bit. But like, the travel I do, you don't really get to see the places. Like, don't get me wrong, I go to Amsterdam and I go down to the canals and visit some shops around there.
You can't be a normal person there.
Yeah, you can't. Like, you're there for 3-4 days at a time. You don't see what the actual city's like, what the vibe is like.
So you'd like to sort of stay in an area for a couple months?
Yeah,
work?
Exactly. Yeah, do that sort of thing. Live that life. Like, it'd be weird to do it as a 35-year-old head with a squash potato, 35-year-old bloke.
You've got the character for it.
Well, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I reckon. It'd be nice. I reckon you'd be unreal.
It'd be nice to see if I could do it.
Did you travel recently with Tiggy?
Mate, we were in Oktoberfest with Josh.
Speaking of a yin-yang relationship at training, this is probably the last one we'll go into.
Yeah.
Toby Rudolf, Teague Wilton, Blake Brayley.
Correct.
That is one threesome that I never thought would get together.
Strange, isn't it?
How did that come along? Because you have really brought those two blokes out of their shell.
Okay, fair. Definitely Blake. Teague was always a pretty...
Teague's loose.
Teague's loose.
He knows his moments.
Yeah, exactly right. But Teague's a professional, man. He's like...
But fair dinkum. Blakey used to just sit at home in his bedroom and do nothing.
He did. We got very close very quickly, actually. He, we had a training session. We were pretty close, already. And then we had this training session in 2000 and I think it might have been 19 before I debuted. And he just sort of, poured his hat out to me that he had a bit of problems in his relationship and stuff. And, mate, I was just like, mate, I don't know why you're doing this. Like, you're a young, sexy bloke. Like, just
Great
move.
sort.
Great sort. Just move on. Like, you'll be fine. Like, let's, I got ya. I got you. You got me. And we're friends. Now besties. It's the best.
When I seen you blokes out together, I could not believe it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it was a yin-yang.
Yeah.
But it's so good. You've brought out... He actually gives lip on field now.
I know he does. How good is it?
And he's one of the world's nicest bloke.
He is.
And I was like,
He
mate,
is.
you are hanging out with Toby too much.
Yeah.
Just like I have today, mate. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us, brother. I really appreciate it. And all the best for the season.
Thank you for having me on, Woodsy.
You're a champion.
Appreciate it.